Adam here from the Walser Automotive Group. What I want to do today is take you on a test drive. So next to me here I have the 2024 Subaru Forester Wilderness Edition. So we'll look at the exterior, some of the cool stuff inside, and then go for a spin around and see what it's like out on the open road. All right, so now we're behind the wheel of the Forester Wilderness Edition. Before we even get going, let's talk a little bit about the technology. So I have my phone plugged in and I've got Apple CarPlay as well. You can do Android Auto in here. So I've got Google Maps, Spotify, text messaging, all that good stuff right on my infotainment screen here. So I'm not messing with my phone. It's plugged in down there. You got a couple of USBs you can plug into. So it makes it very easy and convenient when you're on the road. So let's go for a spin around. Now, the Wilderness model can be now found on the Crosstrek, the Outback, as well on the Forester. So it's a pretty cool kind of off-road focused version of the standard Forester. Now, this one does add a lot of great equipment inside that adds comfort and pretty cool styling as well. So a few of the biggest differences are going to be the off-road tuned suspension, and this one has 9.2 inches of ground clearance. So you will also notice those 17-inch blacked out wheels, and that's going to give you the Yokohama Geolander tire. So it's going to be kind of a little bit more off-road focused tire. This is really for people that want to get outdoors, whether you're mountain biking or camping or going to cabin trips. This can kind of do it all. It's got the symmetrical all-wheel drive. So what that means is it's always got the all-wheel drive. If it's raining, if it's cold like it is today, and maybe the snow starts falling, you know you're going to have that bite and grip when the weather turns. But it's also going to get you 28 miles per gallon on the highway. Now, this has the 2.5 liter Boxer engine. So it's a pretty efficient motor. Subaru's been using it for a while now, and it really kind of gets the job done. So this one also has the CVT transmission, so it's kind of like one constant gear. Now, there is paddle shifters on the steering wheel if you want it to feel more like a manual transmission, but it's quiet, it's comfortable, it's very easy to use. I know it's not a crowd favorite, but it does get it done, and 95% of the time it's going to be more than enough to be comfortable and quiet and convenient when you're out on the road. So the ride and drive is pretty good. It's kind of pothole season here in Minnesota, so I like that added ground clearance, and a little bit smaller wheel and these larger tires actually makes for a smoother ride when you are out on the road, which I find to be really nice. I mean, overall styling on the exterior, you will notice a few differences as well. So this one does have the matte black vinyl on the hood, and that's supposed to knock down glare if you're out on the campsite or if you're out driving down some gravel roads. That can help you there. And this one will have a front skid plate as well. Now, what's cool about this one, there is a front-facing camera. So you can click at any time this little camera button, and that's gonna pull up the forward-facing camera, which is pretty cool. If it's a tight parking spot, or if you're out, like I said, on the trail, need to see a little bit better, that's a pretty cool feature there. Then there is also your standard backup camera. So when you pop it into reverse, that's gonna be the larger infotainment screen that will then turn into the backup camera. So ride and drive. If I put my foot down, it gets up and gets out of its way pretty good. There's also a ton of safety built into these vehicles. So that's one thing when you're on the road, if it's you or you got the family in the vehicle, you obviously are gonna wanna make sure you're safe. And the Subaru EyeSight technology does an awesome job of not being too intrusive, but just working really well when you're on the go. There's an adaptive cruise control system, so you can set 4, 3, 2, 1 car length distances ahead of you, and it's going to keep that distance. So if you're doing a lot of highway driving or even city driving, that is a pretty cool and convenient feature there. Plus, this one is going to have blind spot monitoring. It's got your lane departure warning system as well, so it can kind of help make sure you're not swaying in and out of your lanes. So this one also does have the digital gauge cluster in there. You get the Subaru Wilderness gauges, so that copper accent kind of runs into there as well. And there's a little menu you can run through. And then on the screen above the infotainment screen, there's also a ton of other information in there. Whether you're going through your off-road drive modes, which is the snow, dirt, or kind of that deep snow and mud, that's gonna help you get the best possible traction and bite, but it will change the menu up there. As well, there also is a few different drive modes on the steering wheel that you can select through. Now let's talk about the interior for a minute. So the Wilderness gets the StarTex. So what that is, it's not a real leather, it's kind of a mock leather material, but as I've seen over the years, it wears really nicely. And if you do spill, especially if you got the kids in the back, if they drop some ice cream or someone spills pop in here, you can simply just wipe it off, and it's very easy to clean. If you're getting mud from being out on the mountain bikes, it's really easy to clean this material off, and it does wear, again, very nice. So from there, these front seats are going to be heated as well. You've got the high-low setting for the driver and the passenger, And we've also got a dual climate control in here, so you can pick what temperature you want, which is also a really cool feature. One thing with the infotainment, they also left buttons on here, so it's not strictly just on the infotainment screen to do everything. You've got your climate control buttons and then kind of your home button, and this one will also have built-in navigation if you're not using the Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. So the overall ride and drive is great. So what's great about the Forester is its on-road characteristics. Now, it's easy to drive, like I said. It's going to get great fuel economy, and with the all-wheel drive, you're not really worrying about the weather conditions to hit the open road. These seats are really nice. I was just pretty surprised at how comfortable it actually was in here, and with the darker kind of gray-black interior, there's a huge sunroof up above in this Wilderness, so you can open that up, and especially for the back passengers, it really does open up the interior and gives it a nice light and airy feeling in here. The copper accents are really cool, whether it's on the steering wheel with this kind of center plate or the stitching that runs through, or the leather wrap shift knob down here. It all looks really good and flows well together, especially when tied with the exterior copper accents as well. So the copper accents on the roof rack look good, and that's a very usable roof rack. You can put 800 pounds of static weight up there. So if you've got a roof tent, you're planning on going for a camping trip, this can certainly hold that up above, which is really nice. That Subaru put the extra time and effort into making sure if you wanted to go camping and put the roof tent up above, which they know is really popular right now, you can absolutely do that with the Forester. So the Wilderness Edition also will get a power liftgate in the back, and storage space is very ample in this one. Whether you have the seats up, or you can actually push a little button in the back and that will kick the seats down, and they've got a little cover on the back of them so you don't have to worry about kind of ruining the back of the cloth seat, but it gives you a ton of storage space. I always forget just how big these Foresters are until you pop the back and kick the seats down, and you have an ample amount of room back there. So like I said, long weekends, camping trips, you don't even have to think about it. You can just load this thing up and go. So rear seat legroom is awesome. You could easily put 4 or 5 adults in this car and be comfortable for a long time. There's also USB plugs in the second row, so if you got the kiddos back there or anyone else, they can keep their devices charged up, along with, like I said, the few that you've got up front here. So you've got legroom in the back. Even where I'm driving comfortably at 6'1", I was surprised just how much room you have. And one other thing that I don't really know how to explain, but I found very nice and convenient, is that the doors open almost to a straight 90 degrees. So getting in and out of the vehicle, if you've got the kids in the car seats or just getting into the driver's seat, it makes it very easy to do that when the door opens all the way. You're not gonna bump it into it. It's kind of a goofy thing, but it really does help out and make sense. So you can hear the steering wheel. I started to move over to the turn lane, and when I did, that safety setting will beep at you just to notify you that you may sway from your lane. So if you're getting a little tired on the road, maybe not paying attention for a second, there is a ton of safety in here that will certainly help you out in a pinch. So one other thing to touch on would be the pricing. Now this one with the added package, which does add a few other things in here, is going to be about $38,000 for the MSRP. Yes, there usually is maybe a little bit of a discount on some of them, but just to keep in mind that this will fall still about $10,000 shy of the average new car price in the US right now. The backup camera in here, I was just backing into a spot, and it's great. You got the parking sensor, so you can hear that beeping, and then once you get there, you drop it into park. Simple as that. It makes it very convenient there, and like I said, with the front camera as well, it's really easy to park this Forester, and visibility is great. It's got these little side windows on here, so you can actually see down to the curb much easier, and also makes it really easy to park. So, overall, the Subaru Forester is an awesome vehicle. If you're looking for a little bit more outdoor focused one, obviously the Wilderness is going to be that. It gives you a ton of nice equipment here, whether it's the CarPlay, all the safety stuff, the heated StarTex, and the cool styling on the outside. We didn't even touch on the geyser blue color, which looks so cool with these copper accents, and there's a few other really cool colors as well. So like I said, if you're into mountain biking, you want to throw the kayaks up top, or you're out camping, this is going to be a perfect vehicle to get that done. Or just day-to-day usage at 28 miles per gallon in the all-wheel drive. I think there's a lot to like about the Subaru Forester, and you got to get out, take one for a spin, and see what you think. So that was just a quick drive and look at the 24 Forester. Now, if you have any other questions, or you'd like to schedule a test drive for yourself, you can visit us online at walser.com, or stop by either one of our Subaru locations. We'd be happy to help you out. Thanks for watching.